Okay, let me share my screen. Yeah, I think it's visible, right? Yeah, now it's visible. Okay. Uh, what we were doing, we were having this, right? We have made the states thing the day before yesterday, and now we will make our APIs, right? It's not compulsory to make the APIs. It's not the core requirement, but I'm telling you, like to keep it because uh, it is recommended. It will like your project will stand out, right? So there is something like best project, right? So in that criteria, they also check this that if you have made an API or all those things, so you can look for that. Okay, if you want, you can implement it. There's nothing necessary about it. Okay, so I'll just tell you how it works. Today, what we are going to do is not the typical method to create the API. Okay, it's not. This is not how it work in the applications, but I'll tell you how to just do it. Okay. So what happens is, sometimes if you see, there is some database, there is some website, and if you have noticed, if you do something in the page, suppose if you are scrolling down, if you are scrolling down, okay, let me show you. This is discourse, right? And here, yeah. So if you go down here, uh, I suppose there is this optional issues. Yeah. So see, if I go down, this is come now. It is loading, right? So if I go down, it is loading. It is loading in the backend. It's loading, but the web server is not. The website is not loading. The page is not loading, but the data is getting loaded, right? In the backend, right? So how it does? See, let's see the network tab. Inspect. Let's go to inspect. Go to networks tab, and if I scroll down here, it's loading, and you see here this something come here, right? Latest JSON, and if I go to this this is the raw data that is coming. This is the JSON data that is coming. Okay, so this is how it's coming, and then it is getting populated in the front end using HTML, JavaScript. Okay, so that's how it works. But this is the API, Discourse API, that is fetching the data in the backend, but the page is not loading in the behind the scenes, right? The page is not loading. If you see, the page is not loading, but the data is getting loaded. So it's calling in the backend. The JavaScript is calling this particular API to fetch the data. So there are 30, if you see 30 objects, this one object, two object, three object, like that 30 objects are there. Okay, uh, it's like that 30 objects are there, and page 4 means each, we are on page 4. Okay, so if I refresh it, now see, only 30 will appear. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 30. So this was 30. So 30, after 30, in each page there were 30. And after I scroll down, another request is made. This one is the request, right? This one is the request. And now now see here, after the poll, if you see, one request is made. Yeah, now it's another request is made, page 2. So in the backend, a request is made to this API to fetch more data. Okay, so that's how the API works. But for our case, it won't work in the front end, right? We are not doing JavaScript and all, right? So we have to find another method. Okay, so I hope you got the concept of API, how we fetch the data from a website, a database in the front end without giving the server any load, right? Because if you load the entire page again, the server will push entire HTML, right? So server will get overwhelmed when you make lots of requests, right? So in the backend, it's getting the raw data and it's populating in the HTML. So entire HTML document is not coming, right? So that's how API work, and this is how API is useful for a application, right? I hope you got the idea of APIs.
How you are correlating this? This data is for that link you are counting, na?
Mhm.
How it was connected?
It's connected using JavaScript and HTML. So that is not a. I think if you have
That
done
is
the
not.
Med2, right? If you have
Yeah,
done
yeah.
Med2, then in that they have told you, right? So
Hmm.
they fetch from the database, and they populate. Somehow in JavaScript they make some functions, and they
Hmm.
using DOM manipulation, or I
Yes,
think
yes.
they have view components, right? So view component is also to make HTMLs,
Yeah.
HTML component. So in that they populate the data. Okay, so we are not focused on JavaScript and all those parts. We
Okay,
will
okay,
do that in the backend behind the scenes. Okay, only.
okay,
I'll just tell you how to make APIs. How to
okay,
use them will be like you will get to know in a true sense how to use them. You will get to know in the metro. Okay.
okay,
I'll just tell you how to make them and how to use them in the made one with your made one knowledge only. Okay, it
okay, okay,
won't be a proper, very good API use. Okay, it won't be that. I'm just
okay.
telling you how to make. So I hope we are clear what we are doing, right? Should we start?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So I have given the example. Now, what I will do? Suppose where it is, where it is. Let me tell you a simple example first. Uh, I want to make an API. I'll go to api.py. Where is it? Okay. api.py. There's nothing in there. I'm saying, uh, first let me call the Flask RESTful. So I have to download it first, install it. So open the .myenv /scripts /empty. Okay, so I'll install the Flask underscore REST. Yes, I'm installing the Flask underscore RESTful. No Flask RESTful is found. Okay, Flask pip Flask RESTful. Okay, pip install I have to, yeah. Okay, it is this. Oh, I have done in underscore. It should not be underscore. Underscore. Pip Flask dash RESTful. Okay, now it work. Oh, why it's not working? Let's see if this works or not. Oh, now it's working. I don't know why. Okay. Okay, spelling was wrong. REAST. REST. I have to do. Okay, not a problem. It's installed, and now it's not giving the wiggle line. I'll minimize it. For Flask RESTful import API, a capital API, and also there is something called resource. We will create API resources, right? You will got to know what is API resources. I hope you know what is API resources. You have done the theory courses, right? So API resources, and I think that's it. I'll create an API instance. API equal to API. Okay, I'll create the API instance, and I'll connect this API to the our Flask app, right? So I'll go to our app.py. I'll import backend dot API import API. Uh, why is it so? Uh, this is this API, right? I haven't saved it, is it?
From
Oh,
backend.
from backend import API, and now I'll just do like db.init. I will do api.init app, and this app is connected. So now API is connected with my app, right? So it's connected. Mm, suppose I have that one thing, right? So let me take an example, simple example. Admin is creating service categories, right? Admin is creating service categories, so I have to go to the route admin dashboard, control F slash admin slash, yeah. So admin dashboard. Here in the post, he is creating a category, right? Action equal to create. He is giving the name of category, giving the price, checking that already exists with the name. A category already exists with the name. If it exists, then it will give error that a category with the same name is present. Otherwise, it will create and redirect to again the HTML, right? So it's doing like that. Now I want to do something like in the backend. Okay, so while I given you an example, right? So what is happening here? Let me open that server first. What is happening actually? Okay, so login as admin. So here I'll create a new category. If I create a category, suppose home decor, best price is 300. When I click on create, it's getting created, right? But if you have seen, the entire page is getting loaded, right? But in the backend, you want to want a functionality there. You make this particular uh, like you do one more thing, home deck, and say 500, and you create. The page is not loaded, but it goes in the database. Okay, it should go in the database. The page should not be loaded. So API you are making not to load the whole page, not in the route. What you're doing in the route, you are rendering an HTML, rendering a template, right? But API is it is only work on raw data, JSON data. Okay, they only work on JSON data. They accept data and they send data in the JSON format. They don't render any template. Okay, they are only used to communicate with the data. Okay, send the data, accept the data. That's all. So in this case, you want to send this data, this name and this 500 to database, and after that you want the name and this price that is gone to database in the this page, without loading the page, without giving the server another load to send the entire HTML, right? So now what is happening here? It is sending entire HTML, right? Why? Because I am redirecting this admin dashboard. It is going with get method, and again it will load all those things, and then again it will render this HTML. So see how much the load is going on the server. So for that, to avoid that, we make APIs that only work on data. They fetch data and then they send data. Okay. So route is only we can use to show the HTML first, but after that, any operation we want, we can do that using APIs. Okay. So I'll make an API. I'll say this is how we make a API class. To I'll give this class name as service category. Okay, service category, and then this should be a Flask uh, API resources. So I'll give it a resource inheritance. Okay, so resource is a class. It is a parent class in RESTful, provided by the Flask RESTful. So this is a normal class, right? Service category, I created a class. This is a normal class. This is a normal Python class. So I have to somehow incorporate this particular class with Flask RESTful so that it behaves like a API class. Okay. So for that, I am inheriting a parent class which is resource that gives me some functions, that gives me some functionality to work with APIs. Okay. So this is my normal class. This is my normal service category class. I'm just making it a I'm giving it a functionality of Flask REST. So this is how I'm implementing.
Normal class do not need compulsorily have the capital letter starting, or
It's not necessary. You can do
it
it
is
like
not necessary. It is not
it's
necessary.
recommended, but it's not
Okay,
like you will get error. Okay.
okay, okay, okay.
So if you want to do, you can do like this. Okay. So this is how. So if you see model.py also, this professional is a normal class, Python class. But how this
Yeah,
is becomes a uh, that S- SQL Alchemy class because we are inheriting this db.model. It is giving some functionality to this class so that it's behaving like a database table. So that's why. So I'm
yeah.
just giving it a functionality of class RESTful so that this class behave like a API class. Okay. So this is there. Now this resource provides some functions that is some methods which is post, which is get. So this is a get method. It
Class
returns.
name here, service category, and in the DB model, both will not coincide
So
same
why
name.
it will concern? No, it's in that in this model and it's
Okay,
there
that's
in
right.
the.
Model, different model. Okay,
It won't give that error.
okay.
So this is a get method. I'm saying hello here. So you will see what get method is. Okay. So def get. mm, this is not get. This is post and hello and def put is there also. Return. I'll explain what is this. I think you know, but I can explain. Delete. I'll tell you an example, right? And discourse. So here, professional issues. So if you see, when the server is calling a route, where it is, an API. Yeah. So this API is being called, right? So let's see what is the method of this API. So I'll click on this. This is get method. So it's retrieving something from database. It's not sending to the database, it's retrieving something from the database. So it says it goes with that get database. But how to tell you an example where it is post to get post method? But something you fill a form, you filled a form, and then it is going to that database with a post method. Then it will go with the post method because you will send some data. Okay. If you retrieve some data from the database, you will give get method. But you are sending something, then you will go post method. You are post method is usually uh, given when we give some data to create a new entity, okay, new field. So then you will give post. But sometimes you want to edit something, means that is already created in database. Now you want to edit that. So in that, uh, update request is given, means put request is given, put corresponds to update. And if you want to delete something, then there will be delete method. So that's how this for method is usually used in this Flask recipe. Okay. So that is clear now. Now I want to create a new category. We'll see put and delete also. But just now, I want to create, so I'll use post only. So this is it. Now, how to create this category? Right. So now, anybody asking anything? Okay. So I'm saying where it goes. Where it goes in the route.py, right? So in the route.py, when it is created, I'm fetching from form. I'm fetching from price. From the form I'm fetching name and price, right? And here only I'm doing this. Okay. So now I don't want to do this operation here. I want to do this operation in that API. In that API. So what I will do, I'll create an API first. Okay. I'll create a route first. So API route. So that how it is created, API dot resources, and I'll say it should go to this route, API slash service category. This is a route. This is an API route I'm creating, and some request will come here. Some request will come here, and it will go. Now this request is handled by these functions: either get, post, put, and delete. And how do we know that which function will handle this request? So we will see in a moment. Okay, we will see in a moment. We create an API. Okay, we will create an API, and it is connected with that, so it's running on a server. uh, and let's see it is working or not. Okay, so I'm just saving it. uh, I say a route is there, API slash what is the name of service category, right? Let's see. I've created this API route. Let's see what it gives. I will enter. Is it okay? Okay. Oh, resource. It should be resource. Now let's see. I'll run it again. Python. I'm creating a resource, and now if I refresh it, it says you are not found. Why is it? Why is it? It says if you are not found. Is it? Is there something called capital resource? Resource. Oh, add resource. Sorry, I forgot that. It's a long time, I think. So I'm creating a resource, new resource. Let's see if it is work or not. Okay. Attribute error. String object has no. Where it is? Where it is giving error? Init.py so that no lower. Let's see. I don't see any. It should work only, right? Why it's not working?
Spelling of service category perhaps is not correct.
No, no, that
Perhaps.
is not category where.
No, ever in the class.
Oh, it's not. You can do any name, right? It's not like. Okay,
No,
I have to give the class name. Sorry, I
yeah,
forgot that.
two classes are there.
So I created this class. That is not a problem. You can do XYZ, whatever name you want to give. Okay,
Okay. That does not matter at all.
that does not matter. It's a name, but I have
Okay.
to register somewhere that. See, I'll create a new class for booking. Suppose I'll create a new API resource class for booking. Okay, now new class for booking. Now how this API service will know that which class will handle this route, right? So I have to tell the class first. Okay, so I have to tell uh, the class,
Okay.
which is service category in this case. And now this is route. This class will this class
Hmm.
will register with this route. Okay, now it should work. Let's see. Now if I do, now it's working. So see, if I refresh it, take take zero position normal, but one is given. Why it says that one is given? Okay, I have to do self. Okay, self is there. Self should be there. Each function there should be a self. Okay, so that's why. Yeah, now it's giving me hello. Why? And why it is going to let's see. I'll change it to be post. I'll say put. We don't know in which it is going. Okay. No, it should be post put, and it should be delete self self self. And let's see what it gives. If I again refresh it, it is giving me hello because with the browser we request any route, it any endpoint, it goes with get method, right? If we go with any route in the browser URL tab, it goes with get method, right? If you see here in the networks tab, uh, if I refresh it again, this request is gone here, okay? And it goes with get API. See, it is go get method, right? So browser send with get method, but now it was with get method. Well, now how to see post? We cannot use this browser to post method, right? So there's something called API tester Thunder client. So I'll take an example here. It's not necessary. I'm just telling you how to make it. So we'll create a new request, and what should be the route? This is only the route. This is only the route, and it should go with the get post method. Okay, it should go with the post method, and now let's see. I'll send it. I'll send it a request here. It's coming post. The response is coming as post. Now let's see if I go with put. It's giving me put. Delete. It's giving me delete. Right. So say we can make an API input and put sorry endpoint, and then we can use that. You can see the behavior how it's working for different methods. Okay. So now we will see how it works first. How to connect it with our routes. Okay, that's how.
Pardon, one second, sir. How did you change the get and post here in
Yeah,
the
this is the
Thunder
one.
client? Okay,
Post.
okay.
It is post, right? So this is how it works.
Okay.
So now I told you this. Now let's back to you this. It is like this. Okay, so in API, I have created this API, and I'm sending on this route. It will come to get when I use get. It will come to post when I use post. Okay. Now I want here I have retrieved the data from whatever user give in the form. Okay. I have retrieved the data. Now I want to send it to this API, and I want this API to create this particular object, this service category object. I want the API to create the category object. Okay. So let me see. Let me do it. I'll do this. I'll do this. Uh, and I'll go to API, and I'll say in the post it should create this. Okay. Here it should create this. It does not know service category and DB, so I'll just from backend dot model import DB SQL service category. Right? So I have this category. Now I don't know this get and get price. Okay, so we can take it like something will come from the route. Okay, something will come. Now how to request to this method, to this function particular route? How to request to this route? So there is some model, some module in Python called requests. A module in Python called request. So it is like this: import requests. There's an extra s here, okay, and it is not installed. So I'll just install it. Pip install. request requests, install requests, and I install this. Uh, Let me see how it works first. Okay, let me tell you how it works first. So import requests, and I'll go to this particular route. Okay, I'll go to this particular route. Discourse or online degree dot iitim.ac. Okay, so I'll say response whatever this response will give response. I'll store in this variable and I'll say request dot get and this particular route URL. I want to go this route URL with a get method. So this request will make request to this particular URL with a get method. And let's see what this response store. Okay, so I'll print this response variable. Let's see what it store. If I run it, I'm running it. Let's see. This xyz is being run and it says response 200. Okay, it gives us an object, response object. Let's see what this response object has. Let's see, it has a JSON. Okay, let's see what in JSON we got. Okay, I'll run it again. It says request exception JSON decode. Okay, let's see how it works. It should be a object here, I think. Okay. Uh, JSON. I'm seeing JSON dot. Let's see how it works. Mm, it gives me JSON response dot text. Let's see what it gives. Okay, so it gives me an HTML. Okay, it gives me an HTML. Why it gives me an HTML? A place for item based degree. Let's see, because if I go to this route, this particular route, in an incognito window, and I see this. Yeah, I see this because in incognito window I am not logged in. So when we go to this route, it says login. So and it is giving me this page. Okay, so if I do this in here, I requested this particular route here in the Python using this request library. Okay, so it's giving me the same thing, a place for IITM BS student to build and share. So this response.text gives me the entire HTML. So this particular route is giving me this entire HTML. Okay, in the response, this is the entire HTML. It has this IITM DS thing. IITM, welcome to IITM DS, and it says a place to for IITM DS degree student to build and share knowledge. And there is this login thing. This login button is also. I think there is something called that login button. We have to see it somewhere, but this entire HTML is sent. Okay, this entire HTML is sent with this method. Okay, that's how this request is work. This request model is work.
Where it went when is the response sent to the HTML, where it is going?
This request module request this URL. Now this URL is host somewhere in the internet, right? Wherever the
Okay,
server of this particular discourse iitm.ac.in, this
okay,
website, it goes to
okay.
that server with a get method, and
Yeah.
it asks for a response. So whatever, so if this particular URL, what this browser is doing, what this browser
JSON,
is doing,
the
it's
JSON will
simply
come. JSON will come.
There's no JSON will come. I didn't use any JSON. Okay,
Okay.
it gives me text, but because it serves a HTML page on this route. It
Yeah,
serves
yeah.
a HTML page on this route.
Hmm.
Okay, but there's something called how to show you the post method. Uh, RESTful test. Uh, I don't know that website name, but you see here this route is serving the HTML. Okay, not any JavaScript, right? It's not serving. But now that other one that I was telling that serves the JSON. Okay, that works as a row JSON. So it's a route, but that was a API. Okay, that that was giving me JSON. That was an API, and this is a route. It gives me HTML. So that's why if I refresh it, so if you see this first page, it's in look like a document. It's in document of HTML document. It gives me type as document. So it's giving me document. So that's why I'm getting this text. Okay. So request helped me to go to any URL and get the response. Okay. So now again I can use this particular response request. Okay. I can use that particular request. How would I use that? I'll import it. Import requests. And this is my route. This is my route. API service category. This is my route. I'll say where it is, where that goes. Where is the admin dashboard? Yeah, this is the admin dashboard. Here I'll use response, RESPONC response equal to requests dot. Now I want to post something. I want to give the data, right? Whatever I retrieve the form from the form, category name, category price, I want to send in the API. So I'll just post this, and the URL will be http colon double slash 127.0.0.1 because it's hosting in it's running in the localhost with port 5000, and then now the endpoint API slash service category, what right, service category. So it's going on that particular route. And now I want to send something, a data, some data to this, right? So how will I send that data? I'll send the data using JSON. So this particular post method provide me a uh, argument JSON. Here I can send the data in the JSON. Okay. So I'll say cat cat underscore n cat name colon. What should be the name of this category that I retrieve from the form? I retrieve this cat name from the form. I retrieve this get name from the form. I'll send this in my API route. So cat name I'm doing, and similarly I'll send another cat p colon cat underscore price. So this is I'm sending. I'm sending a name and price that I retrieve from the form, and going to this database, this particular route with post method and taking this data. And let's see what this response gives me. Okay, let's see what this response gives me. If I print it, if I print it, let's see what this response gives me. Now, here something is coming to this post method. Okay, something is coming, and that is coming as JSON. Okay, so a request is coming here. Requests. Uh, second, I have for that I have to query that. request. So from Flask RESTful, I'm taking this request. This request and that request is are two different. This request is a part of Flask, and that request is a different module. That is a completely different module from Flask. It's not related with Flask. Okay? So this is requests, and this request is a function of Flask method. Function of Flask. Okay, so that's why I query from I import this from Flask RESTful, and now every request that will come to this route, this particular route, will have some JSON data, right? I'm sending some JSON data, so I'm saying JSON dot get, and what variable I'm sending? Cat underscore name, cat underscore n that I'm sending here. If you see here, I'm sending cat underscore n that corresponding to cat underscore name. Okay, that cat underscore name, whatever the category name we are sending from the form, that corresponding to this. So I will use this in my API. I will use this in my API. So here I'm fetching that whatever the data is given to me in this request, request.json dot cat underscore, and that I'll store it somewhere. Cn equal to cat name, cp equal to cat price. So that's I'll retrieve from the call endpoint whatever the request is coming, and while creating the object, I'm doing this cn. Okay, so it will fetch that name and price that is sent by this particular JSON format. I'm returning in the JSON. Okay, I'm returning from the JSON dot get whatever the name of the variable is, and I'm creating a particular object of this category and adding it and committing. And now it should return me a something. It should return me some response. Right? It should return me some response. This particular Flask RESTful send response in JSON format. So I'll give it in JSON format, and I'll say message uh, category object is created. Okay, I'm sending this particular message, and I'm giving the response also 200 code. So in the return, I can say the response, and after that I can go the give the code. What is the response code of this? It is a successful because everything is working successful, right? Everything is working successful. That's why I'm giving 200. But suppose I will do this. I'm here. What I'm doing. I'm checking from the database, and only then if it this name does not present in the database, then only I'm creating a category, right? So let's let's do this checking part also in the route, this particular API route. Okay, so I'll do that in the this particular route, API route. So I'm saying I'll check this cn if it is present in a database. If it is present, if it is not present, then only I'll create it and commit it. Okay, and then I'll say response is equal to 200. But if it is not present, then I should give another response, right? As if it is present, sorry, if it is present in the database, this name is present in the database, then I have to give some other response, and I'll say in this case return another message that is category already exists, and I'll give method a status code as there's something called wait, resource exist status code. Okay, 204 is for 204 is it's not necessary that you will give this, but 204 is a status code to show that an a already you want to create an object, but that is already exist. Okay, so I want to create a category object, but it already exists. So I'll give that that category already exists, and I'll give that 204. It's not necessary that you will write this 204. Whatever you want to give, you want to give 210. So you can give that. Okay, but I'm just following the standards. Okay, so that's why I give this particular code, status code, and this is the response. Okay, so this request, what it's doing, it's uh, let me see. Wait a second. Okay, we'll see. We'll see it. Okay. We'll see it. Else. Now, this particular API post method is giving me two response for two cases. Okay. So what I should show in a respective response, I have to make it here. So this response is giving me something. Okay. So I'm saying if this response dot status code, status code, whatever, what is the status code? This is the status code when this is returned, and this is the status code when this is returned. Okay, 204. So if the status code is 200, I say 200 means it is successful. I'll redirect it to admin dashboard with a flash meshes, flash, and I'll say response dot JSON, because I'm sending the response in a JSON format. If you see this object, this is a dictionary object, right? This is a dictionary object in Python. This last RESTful convert it into a JSON object. Okay, so this is sent as in JSON. So here the response is sent. The response is sent, and I will retrieve that JSON here. Okay, let me print it. Okay, let me print it. What it print? After that I will do uh, this particular JSON. Okay. So, or I should use that Thunder client. I'll use that Thunder client. I'll go on this route. I'll post it something, and now I'm posting some data also. Okay, I'm posting some data with it. Okay, where is it? Yeah, I'll post some data with it. So, can you mute? I think somebody's okay. So I'm sending a data with it. Okay, so I'll go to this body. I'll send this JSON, and I say what I'm giving it, cat. If I go here, it is taking cat underscore n and cat underscore p. So it is taking cat underscore n and cat underscore p. So I'll give cat underscore n colon. I'll say decor. Okay, and second thing I'm giving cat underscore p, and I'll say 500. 500 is the price. Okay, I'm giving it, and this is the body I'm sending. This is the in a JSON format, and this will retrieve the JSON, and from that it will retrieve the cat and cat p, and then it will try to check if it exists or not in the database. If it does not exist, it will give return some error. Else, and okay, if it does not exist, then it will create, and it will say that category object is created. But if it exists, then it will say category already exists and 204. Let's see if, what it gives. This JSON I am sending with the post method to this route. Yeah.
Can you update price to CP? I think you have mentioned CN for both.
Oh no, I'm retrieving this cat n from JSON.
No, no, I
Cat
got
and
it.
cat
If
p.
you come to this line number 15,
Oh here.
that's it.
Oh CP. Okay. So, yeah, thank you. I forgot that. Okay. So I'm sending this and home decor. I'm saying I'll give space home decor. Let's see what it gives. Connection was refused because my server is not open. It says connection was refused, right? So that's why I'll open the server again. run it again. Yeah, it's starting now. And I'll send it data. And it is giving me a response. Category object is created because it does not it does not exist in the database. Now the same name exists in the database. Now again, if I try to create it, let's see what it gives. 204. It gives me 204, but it's not giving me this response. Why it's not giving me the response? Uh, have I sent something to it? Category already exists. It's not giving me. Why it's not giving me? But it's giving me the status code 204. No content. Okay. So in that case, it automatically take the response. The Thunder client is not showing that. Where I can show you query holder. It appears here only. No JSON, no response is present. Why it's not present? I don't know why it's not giving that, but it gives that thing. It gives also that. This particular message also it's given. But you see 204 is given. The status code is given here. The status code is given here. Right? It creating the database. Now it is already exist. This particular body is this particular category already exists in database. So that's why it gives me 204 because it going in else and returning this. So see, this is how I can make a route. I can make a API resource. I can make an API resource. This is going here and creating this post, creating an object. Now, how to do it in here? So I'm saying if that status is 200, you see this JSON. What this JSON is printing? This JSON is printing. Uh, if I say home only, if I say home only, and if I create send it, it creates the category object because home is not present in the database. So it creates the category object. So this is the JSON I get from the JSON. So this response.json, where it is, yeah. So this response, I requested this after the response it gives me a status code 200. So here also it is giving me 200. If it is 200, I'm saying flash in the page and redirect to the admin dashboard. Okay, but suppose if it is not, else other status code is there, then means 204, then I'll fetch uh, message. I want to flash the message, not uh, entire JSON. I don't want to give the entire JSON. Okay, uh, in the return you can give another thing, right? uh, greet equal greet colon hello. Okay, whatever you want to return, you can return, but I want the message to show there. So I'll retrieve the message key only, and I'll retrieve the message key only. Okay, so that's why, and that's what I want to show in the flash message in the HTML. So I retrieve this message, and here else I'm saying, here also I'll give the respective message. Let's see what it does. If I try to do it from the dashboard. Okay, if I try to do it from the dashboard, here I am, refresh it. There are two to three categories are created. I'll create a new category here, or maybe I try to this create this carpenter only. So carpenter, and give price 1000, and if I say create, JSON decode error, but it gives the error. Let's see. I am getting an error. Let's see what this error says. JSON decode error, expecting value line 1. Uh, is it work like that? Let's see how it works. Now if I refresh it, method object is not scriptable. The server is stopped, is it? Why it gives the error? I'll ask it here. This is the I'm returning. And where is it that thing? Yeah. So I'm saying I'll go to GPT. Let's see what it says. It says this particular thing. How it works. Let me what I have done in my thing. GitHub. If I go, mm, see model depth stats. Okay, I have to give like that only. Let's see if it works or not. It does not work like that. Why it's giving me that? Let's see how it works here only. Respond.json.message hi. This is how it works, right? Why it's not working? JSON decode error. Am I doing something wrong that you guys can tell? Uh, I'm returning this else. I'll go here. I'll go back. Refresh it. Create a new category. Say carpenter 500. Click on create. Expecting value line 1 column 1. Where is it? 241. 241 it's going because it will go to else because the carpenter is already exists and status code is 204. That's why it's going here. Now response dot json message it should give, but it's not giving any message. Let me create a new category, fresh new category, if it is working for that or not. I'll go back, refresh it. I'll create XYZ price 400 and click on create. Now it is created, but it's not working for this only.
In the else part, can we specify the status code? Or
Uh, we can specify if response
I mean, just if we try system using.
that I don't think so. It will set code equal to 204. Is there elif? I'm sending this particular this. Now let's see. This created object is working, right? This is working. This is working, but this is not working. Right? Why is it so? Let me recreate it once again because it should already exist. Let's see. Why is it? Why is it? Okay, my stop. It's stopped.
Delete the code and write it again. So that's
Oh, why to delete it? Right? It's
a
working.
blank line is there in between.
Where is this? This is blank line. It doesn't matter. This blank line. This there are multiple blank line, right? Maybe let me try another. If I say 201, let's see what it says. I'm getting the response 201. Okay, already exists. See, there's something for 204 that it doesn't get at this
Okay,
particular
okay.
object. This particular object it doesn't get for 204. So I'll just turn that method, right? Also, we have seen this here also, right? While doing that exist part, nothing is coming here. No.
Hmm.
Message
Message
was
was
appearing.
yeah,
Yeah.
message
Yes,
is was
yes.
receiving for 204. It does not receive. So it be by default. So by default, what happens if something 204 it indicate that the resources already exist. Okay, so that's why don't need no message returned. But something is created, some created, then you want a customized message. Okay, then that's why it is giving this. But 204 itself tells that something is already exists, right? Something is already exists. But 200 is can be a successful code. It can be for deleting anything, it can be creating anything, it can be for fetching anything. Okay, so for 200 I am able to see the response, whatever the response is sent. But 204 it itself indicate that something does not exist. So if it is code is means 204, so 204 means it does not exist. It already exists there. Okay, so no need to send any that thing. Okay, so that's why I'm getting this. So this is how we can create a basic route, right? Now, if I want to put something, I want to edit something, same thing will happen. So if I go here, this edit, I'll just copy this thing. I'll just copy this thing, and I want to do this thing in API. Okay, the editing part I will not do here. I'll do here. Here I'll do, and I have to retrieve whatever change name and price from the JSON. So for that I have to query here. I have to call that using requests. So I'll copy this. Okay, so I'll call the same route API service category, and now it will go with the cat change name. Okay, cat change name from that I'm fetching from the form, and this is price. And for the simplicity I'll say cat and cat change p c cat cp and cat cn. Here also it was wrong, not a problem. I'm sending response to it. I'm sending a request to this particular route. This is the JSON. I have to send the ID also. I have to send the ID also, because to retrieve that I have to send the ID. ID I'm fetching from the request and I'm sending to the API. ID colon. I'll have say get ID, not ID, get ID. ID. Okay, that is I'm sending. Let's see. Uh, Here it comes. I'll fetch it. It should not be post, right? It should not be post. It should be put. It should be put here, because I'm editing something. Okay, I'm editing something. I'll retrieve this name and price from there in the JSON that I'm sending. So here I will retrieve the cat c underscore n, cat c underscore p, and I give this cn change category name. I'll say not cn. I'll say change category name, change category price. Okay. So that is I'm writing, but now also I will retrieve the ID also. So cat underscore ID equal to request dot json dot cat underscore ID I'm sending, right? So I'll use this cat ID here. I want to search that for that ID. I'm trying to make a request. I'm trying to edit something that exists in the database or not, and for that I'm retrieving and changing the name, cat dot name. This is the cat that object that I'm returning from database, and I'm changing the name here. Okay, so let's see here, and I'll return message cat category detail updated with a 200 message. Okay, this is the message I'm sending. Now mm, I'm trying to I'll send the request here.
This cat dot name is in the database, no? Cat dot name and cat dot price.
Where this cat dot name?
Here, line
Here,
number
yeah.
31.
That
This
cat
is
is the object, and that name is from database, right? This is the best price.
okay. Cat is from the object.
Yeah. This is the cat object, right? I'll retrieve it from the database, and then I can
Yeah, yeah.
change the name, all right?
Got it.
So
We have
I'm just doing, and
after filtering, the cat is the object, and the name is the
yeah,
yeah.
response dot JSON, and it should be message. So it will give me the JSON object, means the dictionary, and I'm finding that key, JSON key. Okay. So let's try. It will come to edit. I'll retrieve ID, name, and price from the form and send it to this API route. This API route will edit something and send me the response back, and then again I'll send it to admin dashboard. Okay, so let's see how it works. uh, if I try to edit the price of this XYZ, I won't update the name, I will update the price, 1000, and if I click on edit, see what set category object is created. Oh, okay, sorry. It says category object is created because it is going with a post method. Why? If you see here, it is going with a post method. Okay, I want to send it to this put. I want to send it to this put, right? So here I should say put. The method it now will be put. Here I was creating, so that's why I will give the method request dot post, requests dot post. Now here I will say requests dot put. Now it will go to this particular function, this particular function. For post, it was going to this particular function. Okay. Now it will go to this. Now let's see. Click on edit. Uh, I'll change the price. Edit. Yeah. So 100 is done, and it says category details updated. Right. Now I was able to see how we can do this API thing. Right. But now suppose you will say that it is going for editing also it is going to the same route. For creating, it is going to the same route. But now I specified this post method and this put method. That's why it is differentiate. It can differentiate that where in which function it should go. Okay, so put it will go to put method. For post it will go to post method, right? So this is how. But if you want to make entirely different route. So I will say slash API slash category service category, and here I will say slash API slash ID. Okay, I'll say ID, and I'll make this F string. And this is the ID I will send. Okay, this ID I don't want to send here. ID I'm sending as a JSON. I'm sending as a JSON here. If you see get ID equal to ID, I'm not sending in this. I'll send it using that route itself, right? So the now the route will be API service category one, yeah, two or three or four, whatever the ID is, category ID that I retrieve from the form, and it will send it using this. Now here in the JSON, this ID is not coming. This ID is not coming, and I have to register that route here also. I have to register that route with this class that I'm using here in the route.py. I'm using a route slash API slash category, and then after something. Okay, so I'll register that route. I'll add that resource here with API, and I say slash API, and I'll say I want to take this ID. I'll say ID. This special angular bracket will help me get this ID here. Will help me get this ID here. Okay, how can I get this ID? This ID after self, I can say ID. I hope you have seen this same thing in URL when we make the route here also. I think I have told that thing also. When we are I introduce the current user, then I tell if you send something here, then you can use the here in the function, and then you can use inside the function. Okay, so that is the same thing I'm doing. I'm sending this ID, and this route only I'm using for put. So this ID I will mention here, and now this ID I'll say okay. So whatever is coming after this category is will be ID. So if it is one, then this ID value will be one, and then it will be used here. Okay, so let me make it get ID, get underscore ID, and I'll say get underscore ID. So this is the get ID, and I can use inside this function. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm sending where it is, yeah. So I'm sending a request to this URL slash API slash resource and something with a JSON name and price. Okay, nothing is there. And how would I retrieve that ID here? It will come here. It will say that this class it belongs to, and it will check the method. The method is put. Then it will go here and it will retrieve the ID. Where it will retrieve the ID? It is because in the Angular bracket I'm saying cat ID. Right? If you don't give this cat ID, it won't recognize this. This function will give error. This post function will give error. Let me show you. If I say mm, uh, I'm saying home. Okay, so I'll change the name. Home cleaning, whatever it is, and try to edit it. See, it does not give me anything. it does not give, it gives me error, right? So because I'm not sending any ID, but if I try to do it like this now, is it this edit and it will go to put, and now let's see if it works or not. uh, it will say cat details updated and 200. Let's see. Okay, I'll go back, refresh it. uh, Cleaning. Category update is deleted, okay, and that home becomes home clean, okay, because I have give the ID here, correct, and it will retrieve the ID here and use that ID here. So see, this is how you can register multiple route for the same class, okay. But eventually it knows this, only this API service category will go to this put only, because this category ID is mentioned here. You cannot do this API service here. If you try to do this put, it won't work because it this put ask for an ID attribute also. If you go here, this put ask for an ID attribute here also, and that should be given with the URL. And here is the route, I'm not giving any ID with the URL, so that's why it won't work. So that you have to be aware of. So this post ask for nothing. If you see, this post ask for nothing. This post does not have any argument. Okay, so that's why it's working fine. So I hope you got the how that API that we can use here in our project, right? Uh,
Yes.
okay.
Himanshu, can you please repeat once again what you said in last, that put thing?
Okay. So see, if I here with this particular endpoint service slash API slash category, I'm sending
Okay.
post method, right? But
Yes.
if I try to make a put request, okay, with this, if I try to make a put request, now it will go here, it will check that any resource exists with this endpoint, any resource with endpoint. So this endpoint it will checking here, it
Okay.
exists with this particular class. And now it will check with which method it's coming with. It's coming with put method, okay.
Okay.
Now this put method, where is it? Yeah, so it this put method, now it will redirect that request to this put function, okay. Now this put function will handle that this request, okay. Now this function will handle this request. But now for this put says, I want an argument,
Okay.
and this argument will be come from URL. But now that, if you see with the URL, no argument is coming, right? So
Yes.
it will straight away give the error. But now
Okay.
this API service is giving me an argument. It is giving me an argument. Then only it if it is coming with a this particular route and with a post put method, then only this put method will accept it. Okay.
Okay.
Then only this put method will accept it. Otherwise, it won't. But now this post method is not taking any argument, right? It's not
Yes.
taking any argument. Now for that it will work, this API service category is work because there's nothing and no argument with this. So
Yes.
that only this post work. But if this same route, if you change it here, I'll again make it post. Now here I'm sending an argument ID, and instead of put, if I do post, now it will check that this particular route registered with my API resource. So this particular route, this type of route is registered with my API resource, right? It is registered. Now it
Yes.
is checking post method. Now it will handle it to this post function. And now this post function says, I don't want any argument, but
Okay.
an argument with is given here.
Yes.
So that's why that now this post will not handle this. it straight away reject that I cannot handle this because an extra argument is given. I don't require any argument. So that's why you can make any other routes here for this, but keep in mind that you are sending the method correct method. Okay, we are sending with a correct method, so I'm sending with it here with post method, because post will allow only to take an argument, or here I'm sending with, sorry, this put will allow only to take an argument.
Yeah, with argument and post without argument.
Okay, if you want you can send any argument, it's not necessary that with
Yeah,
post you
like
cannot send. Okay,
how we have implemented it in the class in
yes,
the API file, that
hmm,
based on that only we will call here.
correct, correct. Yeah, so see, it's fairly working API. You can use this also, right? So anything else you want to ask? Yesterday's, sorry, tomorrow will be the last session. So
Yeah.
I'll tell how to submit your project, how to, like, what you should do before submitting your project. Okay, how to wrap the all things. Okay,
Okay.
so it will be a useful session, but please join on time, uh,
Okay.
so that we can utilize 2.5 hours. Okay.
Sure.
And if you have doubt only, then you will have last chance to ask. Okay,
Yeah.
most likely last chance. So
Yes.
okay, anything else?
You will be giving us that Viva thing
Yeah,
preparation.
tomorrow I'll give and everything. Okay, I'll say whatever step by step things you need to do. I'll tell you to tomorrow.
Okay. 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 Fine.
Yeah,
After the boot camp, that Git will also be available now, or
yeah,
you
it
will,
will be available till the deadline. Okay.
okay. And some help is required. So after that, then you will not be available, right?
I cannot. I cannot be sure because
No,
it,
at your convenience.
no,
Sometimes.
because I will be assigned another boot camp for
Yeah,
after
yeah,
that,
yeah.
so that won't be easy for me, and
Okay.
also I'll
Yeah,
have.
yeah. Okay.
But we can try in the G space. G
No, no, I
space
will
will
try
be
because
G.
I have not done the actual project. No, I will do now because I'm confident to jump into that.
Yeah,
So I
so
will
you
do that.
can do that. Now, if you see the recordings also, then it will be fine for you.
Yeah, yeah. I have
Recording
done.
will be there. The G space will be there. Or every resources will be in the
No,
G
no, I have
space.
done it line by line. I have done it, no problem. But still, sometimes it happens such a thing. Can we connect on the GSpace?
You can send the message, but it's most likely
Okay,
that I
okay,
would be able
okay,
to.
okay,
I'll ask the instructor what should I do in this case. Okay, if you require any
okay.
time, extra time, what
Yeah,
should I
yeah,
do in this case?
yeah. Mentoring is also available with you or only. Uh,
One-to-one mentorship is available. You can take that one-to-one mentorship if
yeah,
you
but
require.
another person will come. Na? What happens na? When the
Another person will why it's one-to-one mentorship. Then how another person will come?
no,
Okay,
no, one-to-one means can I ask you should be my mentor? Is it possible?
yeah, it's possible. There is an option to put the name of the mentor also.
But
And
no. But last time I asked, but they did not assign the same person.
okay, let me first stop the recording and then.
Okay, okay.